Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. In this episode I'm going to talk about Detective, a modern crime board game by Ignacy Trzewiczek of Portal Games. Now this is a cooperative board game in which you're trying to solve cases, and this game comes with 5 cases that you can solve together. So let's open up the box, see what's inside. I'll set up a game, explain how to play it, and I'll tell you what I think about it. So, Detective, a modern crime board game by Portal Games. Let's take a look at the box. The front has this cool urban tunnel, and the back of the box has some of the components pictured with these post-its everywhere. Police line, do not cross. So this really gives you that modern TV police show vibe. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Now this is a borrowed copy, so it has been opened already. First you'll find this crime scene image, authorized personnel only, which also has an Antares database guide on the back, which is handy because you're going to use a website to store all the information you gather. So then there is the rulebook. A rulebook that explains everything that you need to know. The cards and the board and the tokens and everything, how the case deck works, and how you set up a game with a summary, a couple of rules about gathering clues and traveling, following a lead, digging deeper, browsing the internet, using abilities, etc., which we will get to when I explain the rules. And some designer's notes, which is nice. It tells you that you can have several people in different roles. So that's cool. Here is the casebook. So there are 5 cases in this game. I'll show you the first page. The man with the golden watch, and it tells you a bit of an introduction, and there are some things you can do already, some leads, the goal of the case and your time limit. And so there's one for all the cases here. So inside you'll find a little catalog with some more Portal games, Robinson Crusoe, Imperial Settlers, Cry Havoc, Tides of Time and Tides of Madness. Some of their classics here, 51st State, Hiroshima Hex, Alien Artifacts, which was released last year, First Martians, and Detective, of course. And this year, Monolith Arena, which is also pretty cool. Keep an eye out for that. So we have those. Then there is the cardboard player board, which has a nice urban picture on the back as well. And here are the 5 locations, the days of the week, and the hours of the day that you need to keep track of. And then in the box you will find 5 decks of cards, which are the cases, and you do not shuffle them, you do not browse through them, you just put them on the table like this. And because they hold leads and clues and stuff that you only need to know when you pick the appropriate lead. You get some Ziploc bags, which is handy for storing all these tokens, which, like I said, are already punched here in this borrowed copy of the game. So you get some of these activation tokens, these abilities that you have, which you need to spend to do certain things. Authority tokens, numbers 1 through 5 that you may need to mark stuff. You got your stress tokens, and these X's are used to indicate that you have used your special ability on your character, because you also get these character cards. These are thick cardboard, and you get 5 of these different characters with different abilities, and every player that plays the game with you gets one of these. And for every of these cards that you do not have a player for, the leftover cards, if you're not playing with 5, you flip around and you get a consultant instead, which is kind of like an NPC that you can use. So you get those. You get 3 wooden tokens. One is the car, which indicates where your team is. One is a stopwatch, which indicates the hour of the day, and 1 file folder that is used to indicate which day you're at. So that's all you will find in the box. There's a little bit more, but I won't spoil that for you. So 5 of these cases, all these things. Let's set up a game. To set up the game, you place the game board somewhere in the middle of the table, and you sort all your tokens and keep them close somewhere. You've got these authority tokens, stress tokens, special ability tokens, and each player takes one of these cards and one of these used ability tokens that indicate whether or not you will have used one of your special abilities. You take the case file deck and you keep it near the board, and you have these 3 tokens. One of them indicates where your team is, one of them indicates which day it is, and you start at day 1, and this stopwatch token starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, indicating the start of your day. Before starting, you will have to make an account on the AntaresDatabase.com website. So you simply create an account, you create a password, and you log in, which then takes you to the Antares database site, and you'll have several options in the menu to choose from. But first, you pick the campaign you're playing. So in this case, we're playing campaign 1, The Mystery of the Golden Watch. Then click on case 1, A Man with a Golden Watch, and you will get a short welcoming word here that you can read. And you can use these shortcuts at the top here, or if you're using a laptop, it will probably be on the side. As you can see here, you'll have your database with several submenus, signatures, and a final report. So just log in and keep that somewhere safe, and one of the players can be the techie who keeps track of everything on the website, and another player, for example, can keep track of these cards. Now, these cards, you don't look at them, and they're double-sided, so you always keep them like this, face down, and they are numbered. And all you need to do is, whenever a scenario tells you to follow a lead, you just check which card you need, just check the number in the top, you pick that card out of the deck, and you read the front of the card. You're also going to need some pen and paper, because the rules tell you to make some kind of a mind map of all the information you get, and that is indeed very helpful, because you'll get names of people and there's a lot of information that it's missing, and you'll be filling in the blanks on your piece of paper as you go and gather more clues. Now, during the day, you have several activities that you can take, and you don't take them in turns like any other game with multiple players, but you take them collectively, because this is a cooperative game in which you collectively decide your actions. So things you can do is follow a lead, which means take one of those cards and read it and see where that brings you. You can dig deeper. You can browse the Antares database. You can browse the internet sometimes, and a lead will tell you to look something up on the internet. You can write a report, which sometimes helps you. You can use an investigator's ability. You can spend authority tokens, if you have them, to perform an action specified on a card, or you can perform another action defined by the case, introduction, or a specific card. So for example, the first case will get you a little bit of an introduction, and you read that, and it tells you the story of what you're about to investigate, and it gives you a couple of things that you start out with. So preparing the case, it says move the time marker to 9 a.m. because the introduction to the case already cost you an hour at the office. You get 4 authority tokens in your token pool, so you just decide where to put your token pool, and you put those tokens there. Then the goal, you investigate the events leading up, blah de blah de blah. That is what you're supposed to do. There's a time limit, of course. You have 4 days to finish the investigation. So that means on the 4th day, at the end of the day, you're going to have to write your final report and see if you've scored enough points to win the scenario. And there's a stress limit of 7 for this case. Now, every time your time tracker advances past 5 p.m., you're working overtime, and for each hour you will get a stress marker. Then there are some further leads that you can start out with. And in this case, it says there's a lead which has a name, at Kurt Bloedholz in this case. Anytime you see something with an at, that is something you can enter into the Antares database. And these numbers over here are your lead cards. So there's 4 leads in total here that you can follow up. Now here, for example, it says go to evidence storage in the headquarters, which is lead number 103. So that means you start out at the headquarters every day. So you're already there. Traveling usually also takes time. So if you decide on going to another location, you need to take time into account. So if this was number 103, then one of the players takes the deck and carefully looks for card 103, takes it out, and then reads what on the card, and it will say that time will advance a certain number of hours, and then you take your stopwatch token and advance it that many spots. Some cards will tell you to read another card. In that case, you just go through the deck again until you find that card and start reading that one. Other cards will tell you to read something on the Antares database, because this has a questioning at number 104, and you enter that into the website and it will show you some dialogue. Here it says add 1 stress token, so you take a token and you add that to the token pool. Add plot card number 133 to case 2, which means that this card may be something that is important to the next case, because the story is kind of interconnected. And here that means that for this interrogation token, you can question a person, and then this token tells you to flip over the card and read what's on the back of that card, and then you resolve that. Other cards will tell you to read further leads, so you can pick these and read them in any order you want. There's also a follow-up here, and these follow-ups that require these tokens and flipping the card, you need to decide whether you want to do that right away. Now remember, flipping this card might cost you more time, and it might get you further leads, or it might just be a dead end. So you need to decide before doing that. But if you decide on not using it, you cannot use it later. If there are further leads though, those you can use at any time, because this simply says there is a couple of more leads that you can investigate, and you can decide whether or not to do these and when you want to do these. If a lead card tells you to go to another location, you take your car marker over here, that's your team, and you move it to the location stated on that lead, and you advance your time track by 1, because driving always takes 1 hour, plus the possible extra hours that are on the lead card that you're investigating. So we've talked about following leads and digging deeper, which is flipping the card around. Another thing you can do is browse the Antares database or the internet. So anytime you would get one of those clues, you can go to your database and you can enter personal files, questioning, or other. So for example, if I go to the questioning page, I can scroll to this questioning box over here and enter the number or the name of whatever is on my clue card, enter that, and then I will find more stuff to read, which will help me in my investigation. You can also use one of your abilities. If you have one of these cards, if this is your character, then in this case, you can, whenever an investigator writes a report, it adds 2 of these authority tokens to the token pool instead of 1. So writing a report is also an action you can do. You can spend 1 hour to get one of these tokens and add them to your pool. And like I said, all of these tokens over here on all the characters that are currently playing are also added to the token pool. So you simply see which tokens that are available, and you pick those from the stack like this, and you add them to the pool. The rulebook also tells you at the back that you can assign different roles to players. Like I said, you can make one play the techie who uses the Antares database. One of them can read the clues, the narrator. There's a fact checker, a note taker who can draw the mind map. So everybody will have, you know, a role to play, which is great fun. And that really works as well. I've seen different numbers of players play this, and it really is a lot of fun with either 2 or 5 players. And when you're playing solo, make sure you're not rushing the game. You really want to take your time, think over your clues, and you know, take it step by step and don't rush through the deck. So that's basically in a nutshell how Detective plays without giving away too much. This is really an experience you need to do. So yeah, let's go to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on Detective, a modern crime board game. Well, this is a really fun game. I love the fact that the theme is really good. You're really feeling like you're investigating a case together. You're, like you're an actor of one of those TV shows, these detective shows. And I love the fact that it has, an interactive database and all the secret cards. You never know what you're gonna get. And you just have to decide, okay, are we going to follow that lead or not? And is that going to cost us a lot of time maybe, or are we going to take that chance? Maybe we need to work some overtime and get some of those stress tokens. And when is the most opportune time to use your special abilities? So that all is very, very much fun, and I like the fact that it is cooperative, so you have to discuss your actions with everyone and make sure that you agree and then continue and see where that gets you. So that's all very exciting. I really like the components of the game. They're very good. They're decent material, cardboard here. The tokens are thick cardboard. The website is really well done. It really looks really cool. The board is small, but it does the trick. The cards are nicely illustrated. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and it really helps you get into the theme of the game, all the pictures and all the stuff, and also the pictures you will see on the website. Portal also has several promo packs that you can get. So for example, we've got this, and this comes in this cool, mysterious envelope for Antares employees only. And you have a wooden token pack, which is nice, if you don't want your cardboard tokens. So that's a nice extra. You also have these official ID cards, which are nice. And there's an extra promo character as well that you might try and get a hold of. If you pre-order the game, you're getting this with the game as well. But there are also these special, real, these plastic ID cards. So that's also pretty cool for all of the characters. And this one I really particularly like. This is a deck of big cards that has all kinds of characters on them that you can use on your mind mapping board. So if you're using an actual whiteboard, which is really cool if you have that, then you can actually use magnets and put all these on the board, or just you can put them on the table as well and make a real big real life mind map of these, with red arrows going from one portrait to the other, and write their names underneath, and what you know about them. So that's pretty cool as well. You can actually write stuff on the back, but who's doing that? So that's pretty cool as well to have. And there's also a very nice looking vinyl board that replaces the cardboard board here, that has a dedicated spot for your deck, for your resolved cards, and for the cards that you didn't investigate further, and for your tokens to put. So that's also pretty nice. So this game offers a lot of cool stuff and a great gameplay. There's just one minor thing I would say that I don't really like, and that's the fact that the game only comes with 5 cases. Now, each one of these cases will last you an entire evening. I mean, take about 3 hours into account when you're playing this. So there's plenty of game time that will be had. But you know, 5 cases seems like not a whole lot. And there's probably going to be add-ons where you can buy, you know, the 6th and the 7th and an 8th case later on. So, you know, you will have additional gameplay if you buy the add-ons. But as this is a kind of a one-time play game, because once you've solved the case, you know all the clues and you know everything, you won't have gone through all the cards, so it might be worth playing a second time with a different group of people and see if they come up with different clues and different leads. So you will probably read some new cards, but really you already know the gist of the story. So, you know, you're probably not gonna play this multiple times per case. So after you've finished all 5 cases, then you're done with the game and you need to wait until new expansions arrive. So that's really all there is that I have to remark on the game, because otherwise I really enjoyed this game. This is certainly a fun game to try out if you like, you know, a social deduction game with, you know, cooperative play with a cool modern crime theme and good components as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm giving this a big 2 thumbs up. And so that was Detective, a modern crime board game by Portal Games. If you're interested in this game and you're going to Spiel this year, you can pre-order the game at their website. I'll put the details in the link below. And maybe you can also pick up this cool vinyl playmat as well if you like it. So that was Detective. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.